This is our house. It's a 2,300 square foot Garrison Colonial. And it has a 300 square foot family room off the back that the prior owner added. We've got gas-fired hot water heat. We have a central air in the attic that serves the main house. We had a big problem in that the family room where we spend most of our recreational time, about 90% of it, didn't have AC. And so we were over air conditioning the house. We'd have to turn the rest of the house down to freezing to sit in that room in the hot summer. And we wanted to do something about that. Instead of just buying an air conditioner, we got a partial air sourced mini split heat pump in 2002. And then when we did that, we also converted the downstairs so that the downstairs is actually on 2 heating zones. Get into without going into too many details, we'll get into the integrated stuff in a bit. Okay, so this is our mini split. Okay, it's air sourced. Yes, we have a box on the wall, but our sofa for watching TV is underneath those windows, and we're always facing the other way, so it's not a big deal. And then they actually did a nice install with the outdoor unit because they put it under the deck where you don't even see it, you rarely hear it, and it actually, in the hot weather, it's out of the sun. Maybe that helps with efficiency. The system cost us $9,200. We did get a $2,800 rebate from Mass Save. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. It's a good idea to have these things cleaned about once a year. That's $200 or so in maintenance. They don't have the big pre-filters that a whole house system would have. They have a little screen. Integrated partial system. Okay, what that means is it heats part of the house, not the whole house, and it uses the regular old gas-fired baseboards as a backup. Okay, but you can still get a Mass Save credit for that. The equipment, including the indoor outdoor units and the thermostat, have to be on an approved list. You have to have an integrated control. So what that means is we have a new thermostat in our family room. Okay, in the summer it cools, in the winter it heats. Okay, it will turn on only the heat pump in the back half of the house, as long as the outdoor temperature is above 40 degrees, because above 40 degrees, an air source heat pump is really, 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 really efficient. Okay, when it gets below that, it will use the gas heat as a backup. Okay, I guess it's sort of a no-brainer for Medfield, but the power has to be one of the power companies that is listed on Eversource, and you have to use an approved contractor. Some of this stuff changes from time to time. So if you are going to do a heat pump, check the current Mass Save rules. For a partial system, we did not have to get a home energy assessment. We did eventually get one anyway. It's free. Do it. Okay. As far as I know, you need a full house assessment for a full house system. That might change a little bit. Check the rules before you do that. You fill out a bunch of forms on Mass Save. After you're done, you send Mass Save a copy of the invoice, and then 3 to 5 weeks later, you get a check in the mail. And you can check the status on the website. And it was a little disconcerting because I sent the stuff in, it said pending. A week later, it went to not approved. I'm like, oh gosh, I didn't do it right. I called them up, I panicked, and they said, no, pending to not approved means we're looking at it, but we have not yet approved. So some 3 to 5 weeks after I sent in all the paperwork, we got a check for the rebate. So that did pay for some of it. I did mention the integration is important. That helps with the efficiency, and it helps with getting that Mass Save rebate. We already had 3 zones on our boiler, but 2 of them for downstairs were wired together on one thermostat. So we had our contractor, they were really good about this. They actually put in 2 new thermostats, one all the way in the front of the house and one all the way in the back of the house. I'm not going to read all of this. I'm just going to say, based on where my wife and I are in the house at any given time, we have them all programmed with timers so that we only heat upstairs, we're only upstairs. We only heat or cool the family room, we're in the family room. And I think that contributes somewhat to our savings. It was really worth splitting that. I mean, what does this allow us to do? The benefits. The heat pump is replacing a portion of our gas heat with electric. The integrated control lets us split our house more so that we can, again, heat or cool only the rooms we need at the time. We no longer have to air condition our main house to make it comfortable. Our heating room, the heat pump is really comfortable. When on a 50-degree, 40-degree fall day, we go into the family room, it's 64 degrees. We click the button, it goes up a few degrees. You feel really comfortable, really fast. I mean, the comfort level is just great. Data. I'm going to call this anecdotal. I'm going to call this anecdotal because several things changed about the same time. We have the heat pump in the family room, and we added the additional thermostat. That was the project I'm talking about. Okay, but within a year of that, we also went to Mass Save, and they will pay for upgrading your insulation. They pay like 75% of the cost. So we got $1,300 worth of insulation, and it cost us like $320. We also replaced the outdoor unit of our main AC. It may have been more efficient. And obviously, some winters are extreme, some summers are extreme. It's subject to weather. You don't know if you got better energy one year just because it wasn't as cold. But this is the summer of 22, 23, and 24 here. And these spikes in summer, we did something right, okay? Because these spikes in summer are noticeably less than the spikes in the prior years. And our winter has come down a little bit also. So I'm not so much concerned with which of these did it or whether it was a combination of all three or four, but we're headed in the right direction. That's electric. And then the last thing I have here is we've only gone through 2 winters with the new system and those other upgrades. And you can see, again, the gas usage here. Yeah, that's all. And we're looking 25% decrease in energy for the last but almost 2.5 years based on the improvements we've used.